Here is something that beautifully free sketch of Eve and her apples. It's by Matisse, and it more or less epitomizes his style of Western art. And right here is a classical version of Western art in the classical tradition. And here is a equivalent image, but in the primitive tradition, the old brain. One here is not better than the other there. They're both equally aesthetic in merit. One is for the way things feel in the spirit world, and the other is for the way things look in the real world. One is of the old primitive brain area, and the other is the new analytical brain. So you have the old primitive brain epitomized here by African art, and the new analytical brain epitomized here by Western art. This is one of the great works of primitive art of all time. If you were doing things for the way they feel, you could quite easily, if you closed your eyes, feel your nose going down over, reaching to your lips, almost like this figure. Just close your eyes and pull your nose in at the tip just a little bit, and you'll feel what I mean. Here's another typical work of art, quite different. And again, though, you can close your eyes and feel your nose, and you have muscles in your scalp, and if you contract them a little, you'll feel your nose going right over, forming a ridge right on back to the back of your neck. Or again, if you like to open your eyes, why, you could close them again and, now just feel your cheekbones. And if you were concentrating on your cheekbones, why, they would protrude. And as you carved, you would get that old brain feeling, some kind of empathic transference of replication. And your physiognomy would relate to that feeling. Well, that's for the old brain business. Now, I'd like to show you how I changed over from white art to black art. Here's some white art in the Western tradition. I did this sketch of elephants at a circus when I was about 19 in good old Christchurch, New Zealand, where I was born. Might as well give you the rundown while I'm at it. And here's a sketch I did in 1924 in Sydney. And 1925, I was sketching more sophisticatedly. And that was the year I quit drawing from life. Now, I only drew primitive art objects because I was trying to get that primitive brain feeling. At that time, I was really involved in trying to study motion for motion composition. But I wanted to get the aesthetic feeling of primitive art into my motion compositions. So I would draw this and try to get the feel of those shoulders that the Polynesian carver put into his carving, or the slew of hips. And then I would go again, maybe the next lunch hour, and sketch this African art object, and stand there and wonder how those legs fitted into what way of dancing, and that nose like a prow that could carve through any seas. And then another time, maybe I'd go of a weekend and settle down for 2 or 3 hours sketching and take my colours along and do these Australian Aboriginal shields. Here you have some of the most wonderful patterns, unbelievably original designs. Now here's a different lot, an eightsome, but I think that one down lower left is not Australian, it's a New Britain Melanesian pattern. How it got in there I don't know. And here is another, I don't know, count, 14-some. Yes. And as for this gird, I used to look at designs like that and think, now where did those Assyrians, those ancient Egyptians, those Greeks or Chinese ever devise and create designs equal to that? Never. You see these spatula heads? Handles to put lime on the hair. Now that's terrific finesse without going too boudoir about it. Don't you think? Almost musical. Then there'd come a day when I'd have done something I liked, and last thing that night I'd get out my sketchbook and look at it until I got back the feeling I'd felt when I first saw those things, and when I'd got it good and strong, bam, out would go the light. I'd have the things under my pillow and I'd sleep on the feeling.